us on. We now have some presentations of awards for publishing research into higher education. So
that's right.
Paul Trowler, who is in charge of all of this, will take us through what it's all about.
Thank you so much. Well, Murray's comment, as always, was very apposite there, leading us to have a shift in emphasis from talking about researching students to actually celebrating the achievements of students. Students is not really a word I like very much for our program participants, doctoral researchers, course members, whatever we call them, because amongst the recipients today, we've got two, in inverted commas, ex-students, at least two, who are professors, and the rest are fairly senior academics. So this is a great opportunity to celebrate almost 25 years of the doctoral program in educational research. I think it's about 23, actually, something like that, 23, 24, set up originally by at least three people in this room. Rosemary Deem, I think, was head of department at the time and encouraging the development of the doctoral program in educational research, what I affectionately call DPER. And I'd never really thought before that deep and surface learning, yes, it's deeper. It's even deeper than deep learning. Peter Goodyear, very influential in the development of that program, and Oliver Fulton, and particularly Murray Saunders. So three people in this room. Oliver, unfortunately, can't be with us today. And then subsequent to that, the development of another program in higher education, the HEREE program, not to be confused with the HERE Centre, Higher Education Research, Evaluation and Enhancement. And of course, two other programs, the Technology Enhanced Learning Program and the Social Justice and Wellbeing Program in education. But these awards are just for the higher education ones. And I'm Paul Trowler, the director, lucky enough to be the director of both programs. So the management team kindly agreed to allow me to spend a bit of money on prizes for excellence in two categories, although the categories aren't mutually exclusive. In any sense. One category is for publications from the program, either at the time or subsequently, and the quality of those publications. And the other category is for the impact that research that stemmed in some way from those two programs has had on the community. And we've been talking quite a bit about enhancement and so on over the last few hours, couple of hours. So we've got these two awards for the two programs, 4 awards in all. And yes, Catherine's brought them in happily. But the standard of the applications was so high that we also decided to award some honorary mentions. So we've got some people in the room for the awards and the honorary mentions, and some people who I hope are joining us remotely. So the first award then goes to Catherine O'Connell. Catherine, can you come up? Thank you. Let me give you your certificate as well. Just 1 second. For particularly her work on global university rankings. So congratulations, Catherine. Would you like to say anything?
Just, it's a great honour, and I thoroughly enjoyed my studies here, and I think it sort of helped me reorientate myself midlife to a new sort of career that I'm very grateful for.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Well done. And of course, Catherine continues to work to publish in that area and other areas. The honorary mentions in this category, which is academic merit, are Amal Abuseta, who unfortunately she wanted to be here. She's based in Egypt but couldn't get a visa in time. So we have a certificate that's actually on its way to Egypt now for Amal and her work on higher education graduates in Egypt and communities of practice there. For Patrick, an honorary mention for Patrick Bourne on his work in sustainability in higher education. And finally, somebody who is here, so Simon Stevens, if you could come forward, please, for his work coming out of all 3 modules on the doctoral program in educational research. So Simon? There we go.
Thank you.
Well done. Would you like to say anything?
No, just to echo that I've very much enjoyed my time here and very happy to get to stay. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. Okay, so that was the academic merit. Now the category for, again, the doctoral program in educational research, DPER, for making a difference, and again, the two things are not mutually exclusive, but we had to make a decision between them. And the winner here, and I hardly need to introduce him, is Ray Land. Ray. Congratulations. There we go. And a certificate. Where do you start with Ray's work? Stemming out originally of his thesis on academic developers on the doctoral program in educational research, and then, of course, moving into threshold concepts, etc., troublesome knowledge, and all the rest, with conferences coming out of his work and so on. So it's been an amazing career, and it's all due to the doctoral program in educational research. Oliver said that there was a supervision session at the Glasgow Museum of Modern Art, I think, and Oliver's point was that this illustrates the kind of Renaissance man nature of Ray's thinking. Ray, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, in many respects it is due to Lancaster, which was really my introduction to thinking about research and as a threshold concept, what it means. But the looking at Noel, I don't know if you remember this, Noel, but just after I got my doctorate on this work on orientations to academic development, I was applying for a job at Edinburgh for senior lectureship, and I had to give a talk, for the interview, and talked about these 12 orientations. I remember you, Noel, saying, 12 orientations, that's a hell of a lot. And I said, well, because of this. And I said, well, how many would you have, Noel? And you said, 2. Yeah. But I had a great time, and it was a wonderful experience. Apart from the first weekend, where we had a residential at Hampton House Hotel, and the entire cohort got food poisoning. But after that, it could only get better. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. And in this category of making a difference, there's also an honorary mention for somebody else who can't be here, unfortunately, and that's Paul Kleiman for his work on creativity in higher education. He's been highly creative in talking about creativity and writing about creativity. He's worked for the Higher Education Academy and so on, and has had a huge impact in that and in other areas. So we've got, again, a certificate for Paul, which we'll get to him. And now we move on to the other program, the more recent program, and these are we've only got one graduate because it's so recent, and in fact that graduate is sitting here in the room. He finished too early. We had to get special permission, and that's David Pete, just over in the corner there, who got a forthwith a doctorate from the program. So congratulations to David, our #1 student in terms of course member, in terms of completion so far, 1 of 1. In terms of academic merit then, there's an award going to Rob Shaw, who unfortunately can't be here today, for his work on professionalisation of teaching in higher education, coming out of particularly my module, EDS 845, which is on policy and practice. But there's more to come because, as I say, these course members are still course members. And then on the second category, for making a difference, we've got somebody who it's getting a bit boring giving awards to Colm, actually, because I gave him one in Ireland for his teaching excellence a little while ago. So here we go. This one is for making a difference to Colm Kelleher. Did he come into the room? Oh, there you are, Colm. You're sitting outside. There we go.
Thank you very much.
And let me give you this. So Colm's work is on quality assurance in higher education, and particularly looking at issues around self-evaluation of course teams. Would you like to say anything, Colm?
First of all, could I just thank everybody for setting up the programme and for giving the likes of me, who whilst I'm teaching in higher education for about 15 years, I suppose I never progressed onto doing a PhD, and I was very much unaware of the benefits it could bring to my daily routine. So thanks to everybody and to your predecessors for making it happen. Just if I could throw it out there, one of the biggest differences I've made, which tends to kind of get unnoticed, is to the undergraduate students who have the misfortune to go through my fingers year on year. The programme has given me different perspectives on things. It's equipped me with tools and techniques to look at very real business problems. I teach in the business school. Very real business problems and management problems that we face all the time. I'd love to have helped Michael O'Leary with his Ryanair problem over the last few days, because I became aware of it about 3 months ago, believe it or not, through a different, and I didn't think it would happen, but it did. But the PhD programme with the team, I mean, I've had great experiences with Paul, Steve Dempster, who's no longer with us, Natasha, this Paul. First one was Paul Ashwin, with Murray and a few others. My undergraduates are getting a huge kick out of my PhD. I don't know what will come of it, if you know what I mean, but I do know that my undergraduates are getting a huge kick out of it. So all I'd say is keep doing it. Get me across the line if you can at all. You know, David has set a very, very high standard for the rest of us in cohort 1, but we're right behind him, hopefully. But as we say in Ireland, Gramila Mahagav Galera, thanks very much, and thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for your attention. Thank you.